At first, I was like, oh no. A little scared, but then I really thought about it, and it's sarcasm, and I really like sarcasm, so I'm happy to do it.
About the perceived blasphemy that this movie might have, I think that any institution or anything deserves to be lampooned, deserves to be poked, prodded, and questioned. And humor has always been a really good way to do that. You take humor out of the equation and you forbid people to ask those questions. You end up with something that people don't understand but follow blindly.
I'm not worried about getting canceled. I mean, why? It's just, some people have a sense of humor and then some don't. That's just what it really boils down to.
Well, actually, my opinion regarding religion, I'm still surprised that it still exists in the 21st century, because when I was in the 10th grade of the school, I thought the globe religion is going to be science.
I'm not super religious myself, but I knew going into this that this wasn't mean-spirited. It wasn't like an attack on Christianity and religion and God and all this. This is all for fun. This is all pretend and made in jest.
First of all, it's an absurdist comedy. And then I thought more deeply about just the wit and the intelligence and the intentionality behind it. It's such an interesting perspective that no one has ever heard before. So that really drew me into it.
Bill has so much ideas in his head, and his way of thinking and his way of seeing reality, it's quite unusual, to tell the truth.
What was it like to see Bill Zebub's forehead in real life? Well, it was an experience. It's much more massive and meaty than you would think, but yet it's kind of thin and sickly looking. So, very bizarre.
Bill's got a receding hairline that just does not quit. And as a man with hair, I worry about him, and I worry about him dying alone.
Something that I thought was actually a little bit uncomfortable when I watched the movies was the size of Bill's forehead. I found I had to watch the movies twice because I had to watch one run through just watching the forehead so that I could finally take another run through and actually pay attention to the rest of what was happening. In person, though, it's way worse.
I had to avert my gaze from his forehead, and I would advise anyone that has to meet with Bill to wear sunglasses or don't look directly at his forehead.
Bill has gained some weight. He says that it is for the role. I don't know if he means it's for the stomach roll. In that case, it's working perfectly. But I think that Bill kind of just doesn't really believe in self-care. I think Bill believes in eating a lot of things that he shouldn't eat at all and telling people it's for a movie.
For the record, Bill Zebub is not fat. He's just big blubbered.
Bill might try to convince you he's like Christian Bale, where he's able to drop pounds and gain pounds depending on the role. Don't believe it. Bill's just a fat slob.
Is Bill Zebub accident prone? I'm going to say 110%. I think the first scene he might have tripped, and he tripped throughout the entire 6 hours of shooting. So, yeah. Lights knocked over, pillows, shoes flying, just all over the place.
If you see Bill Zebub being stupid, that means he's acting to be stupid. Because in life, Bill is pretty much smart.
How did I react to the blasphemous content, and am I worried about repercussions? I mean, I am, to a degree, but I believe that art is about bold choices, and I also don't see it as a negative thing. I think it's really healthy to acknowledge other perspectives.
This guy thinks that he's like the son of God, and he's just some schmuck that thinks he's powerful, and he's like holier than thou kind of thing. And I thought that was pretty funny angle. I don't think that I've ever seen that before, and so I was definitely intrigued, and then being on set and running lines with him, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
My reaction to the script was that this was pretty far out there. But that's what I like about Bill's movies anyway, is that they are out there.
Yeah, I knew this was a comedy about Jesus, and I knew Jesus was going to be absolutely ridiculous and hysterical and neurotic and just very odd and weird. But Bill brought it to a whole new level. That was this was an odd one. And it was fun to just sort of like play off of that. So, yeah, I had fun.
I think, you have this romanticized ideal of like he'd just be this stallion in bed. But not the case here. And it's hilarious and like very plausible to consider. So I find it very refreshing and delightful.
The physical scenes were very comical, very comedic. And when I was reading it and how I envisioned it in my mind before I got here, it wasn't that over-the-top comedic. Like, Bill took it there. And I'm glad he did, because I had to compose myself because I almost started laughing a couple times.
Bill Zebub directive style is very professional, very forward. He really likes it when you tell him that he's awesome and then he's the best director. He encourages that.
Bill Zebub's directing style is very talkative. He likes to talk a lot, which is fine. He's trying to, lighten the mood and the atmosphere, and I appreciate that. He's very open. He wants my input. If I have, dialogue changes, or if I want to tweak some things here and there with the setting or the movement, he's very open to that. Just very understanding and considerate, and not pushy, not, angry. I felt comfortable the whole time. I never once felt scared or terrified of anything. So it was nice. It was good.
This is my deal with Bill's directing style. He's methodical, and he's organized with an asterisk. By that I mean he has all of his stuff in one place, but that one place, it's a pile. I wish I could pan over and you could see all the props and the cameras and stuff. But in his defense, he gets shit done. He's prolific. He's got a fan base.
Okay, so these are some things that I don't know if it's just Bill or if it's because he's from the Northeast, because we don't have a lot of people in Texas that are like that, but I mean, he's always got this weird look about him. He's just like stares you down, like you don't know if he wants to have sex with you or if he wants to slap you. He's just, I don't know. I think he dials back the rudeness, but I think it's because he's from Jersey and not New York. But what the fuck do I know? I've been in Texas my whole life. He just looks funny and he sounds funny, and he never says any of the dialogue that you say, like if you're trying to fit in Texas, because he doesn't want to fit in. He just wants to go home. And as much as I want him here, sometimes I want him to go back too.
What's it like to work with Bill Zebub? It's fucking horrible. The man eats all the time, and I hear just these horrible moaning sounds while he's eating. It's distracting. I actually almost developed an eating disorder just being around him.
Was I mad at Bill Zebub for not letting us have makeup scenes with Gina Lynn? I was a little perturbed because he's had me like with everybody else, and it's like, now, why not? I think he's even had guys try to kiss me in his films. Who knows? And then now Gina Lynn and nothing? Nothing?
Have I ever suffered any consequences from being in a Bill Zebub movie? Only once. When my granddaughter was doing a school project to Google her ancestry and look into her relatives past. And she Googles Steve Nebezi, and up comes scantily clad women, thank God not naked. And my daughter walks in the room and says, "What the hell are you watching? Look at Grandpa." And she shuts the thing down. That's the only consequence. And my granddaughter never brought it up to me, but I'm sure it's in the back and traumatized her a little bit that her grandpa was in those kind of scenes.